Alright, in our last lesson we learned how to solve quadratic equations by finding square roots. We're going to learn another method today called completing the square. So if you will recall, if we had a plus b squared, we ended up with a squared plus 2 times a times b plus b squared. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to make our equations look like this so that we could go back up to that step. So let's look at this. We have x squared plus 6x. What we're going to do is we're going to take half of the value of our x term and square it. So half of 3 squared is 9. And then we can go backwards because 9 is a perfect square and x squared is a square. And we get x plus 3 squared. Remember, we do the same thing if we have a negative, except the middle term will be negative. So here we go with this one. X squared minus 9x. Half of 9 is 9 over 2. Square that and we get 81 over 4. Perfect squares in 81 and 4, so we're back to x minus 9 over 2 squared. You'll start to notice that you don't really have to do this step where we write it out. You could go just to answering once you see it, as long as we do terms. So I'm going to do the first and the last one here real quick. So we have x squared. I'm just going to write them out. This is going to be x plus 5 squared because half of 10 is 5. This would be x minus 2 squared. Half of 4 is 2. And this would be x plus 7 over 2 squared. Again, if you want to look at examples in the book. So now we have a term on the other side of the equal sign. So remember, when we solve equations, if we do something on one side of the equal sign, we have to do it on the other. And this one I'm going to go ahead and write out for this purpose for just this time. We're going to get x squared minus 16x. Half of 16 is squared, so that's going to be plus 64. And we're going to have negative 15, and we're going to add 64 to that because we need to do that on both sides of the equal sign. This is going to become x plus 8, or x minus 8. Let me just start down here. X minus 8 squared. And that's going to equal 49. At this point, you can take the square roots of both sides. And you're going to get, because we're looking to find the zeros, we're going to get x minus 8 is equal to 7. And we're going to have x minus 8 is equal to negative 7. So we add 8 and add 8. We get x equals 15. We add 8 and we add 8 and we get x equals 1. Okay, so now we have negative 8 on the same side. What we're going to do is we're going to move that to the other side of the equal sign. So, and then also notice that we have a number in front of our first term, which isn't a perfect square, so we're going to have to make it a perfect square. So we have 2x squared plus 20x, and I'm just going to move the 8 now, equals 8. We're going to divide everything by 2. So we're going to get x squared plus 10x. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Plus 25. equals 8 plus 25. And we're going to get x plus 5 squared equals 33. And we can go x plus 5 after we take square roots. Square root of 33 is going to be about 5.5. Subtract 5, subtract 5. Yeah, so we're going to get 0.5 there. And I think it might be a little bit more than 5.5. You can use a calculator to get it correct. 10.5. Alright, so I'm going to do the first and third on this page. So we're going to get x squared minus minus 2 squared. I'm skipping the writing it out, equals 3. We're going to get x minus 2 after we do the square root of each is equal to the square root of 3. Square root of 3 is probably about 1.6 maybe. Let me check that for sure with my handy calculator. .73. So we're going to get x minus 2 equal 1.73 and x minus 2 equal negative 1.73. We add 2 to 1.73, we're going to get 3.73. And we add 2 to negative 1.73 is going to be negative 0.27. And we get this one, 3g squared minus 24g equals negative 27. We need to divide that all by 3 because 3 is a factor of each. We get g squared minus 8 equals negative 9. Take half, and there's an x there, or g. Alright, so now we have g minus 4 squared equals negative 9 plus 16, because I had to do the 16 on both sides. I didn't write it out on the left side though. And that's going to be 7. G minus 4 equals 7. G minus 4 equals negative 7. Square root of 7 is square root of negative 7, which I'm going to tell us here in just a minute. Square root of 7 and not the negative here. Alright, square root of 7 is equal to 2.65. So we get 2.65. We get negative 2.65. We add 4 to this, we get 6.65 for the first. Add 4 to the negative 2, and that's going to be negative 3.435. We can also use this method to find maximum and minimum values. So remember that when we have an equation in this form, that is the vertex form, and the value inside is the opposite of the x value, and the value here is the y value, which will be our maximum or minimum when we get done. So we're going to do this. Y equals x squared plus 4x minus 1. We're going to add this 1 to both sides of the equation. We're going to leave our y value there, so we're going to get y plus 1 is equal to x squared plus 4x, and half of 4 squared is 4 plus 4. We're going to get y plus 1 is equal to x squared. Oh, and I do need to add the 4 over here, so it's going to be y plus 5. So I forgot to add the 4 on that step. So we get y plus 5 equals x squared, x plus 2 squared. Now bring the 5 back across, so we have our vertex form, and we get x plus 2 squared minus 5. Our vertex would actually be -2, -5, but our minimum is equal to -5, so the y value is minimum. Doing the same to find the maximum value, I'm going to subtract my 7 when I write it out first, so we're going to have y minus 7 is equal to negative x squared plus 2x. We're going to take that negative out of there and put it in front of parentheses, and it's going to change the signs inside. Minus 2x, and we still have y minus 7 on the other side. Now we can find our value. So half of 2 squared is 1, so we're going to get y, or x squared minus 2x plus 1, and we're going to add 1 over here, and we're going to get y minus 6 is equal to negative x squared. We're going to leave that negative in front. We're going to go ahead and do the square root of, or factor out the trinomial. Y is equal to x minus 1 squared. Y minus 6 equals, we're going to add our 6 to both sides, and we're going to get y is equal to this. Now, because of the negative sign in front of our square term, we know that this parabola is going to open downwards, so we're going to have a maximum, and our vertex is 1 and 6, and our maximum is 6. Alright, on this last page I did 2 of the 3 just to show you worked all the way out. So on the first one we actually ended up with our y value being equal to 0 in our vertex. We knew it was a maximum because there was a negative in front of the equation at the beginning. The second one here, our vertex is going to be 1 and -3. We know this is a minimum because it's positive in front, and so our minimum is equal to -3.